I'll show you all these props we're going to use tonight, may or may not use, but if you don't have yoga props, I would just collect a bunch of pillows and blankets, and you can definitely do this whole practice from your bed if you're comfortable. But we have 2 bolsters. If you don't have bolsters, like thick blankets, you could fold up or roll towels, or even use couch pillows. Those can be good. We have 2 of those. I have 4 blankets here, just these kind of Mexican blankets, and they're pretty thick and sturdy when you fold them. So if you have something similar, those are great. We also have a strap, a yoga strap, but if you don't have this, you could use a scarf, a belt, a sweatshirt, a towel, anything to extend your reach. And this is optional, we'll just use it for one of the first poses. So if you have something to cover your eyes, you might want that, or if you have a eye pillow, or what do they call it? An eye mask? Eye patch? Maybe 2 eye patches. And then we also have a couple blocks. If you don't have those, books. And then if you are really lucky, we have some lavender oil.
Good
so we're
stuff.
gonna start with that. If you would like, you could grab an essential oil or maybe your favorite lotion. And, oh, how rude. Here.
Thank you.
Here you go. And just put some in your palms. You can rub your hands together and warm them up. So restorative yoga is all about healing and rejuvenating, replenishing your energy, receiving more than doing. So it'll be a lot of passive poses, some breathing, and just mostly laying around on the floor.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that your hands are warm, you can smell if you want for some aromatherapy. And just take a couple of breaths. Slow exhales, maybe just 2 more. And 1 more time if you like. And then place your hands together in a prayer position right in front of your chest. And you can close your eyes here and just get a sense of how you feel. You could even ask yourself that silently, how am I feeling? Establishing a baseline. So physically, mentally, emotionally, do you notice any aches or pains in your body? Do you feel tired? Do you feel sore? Are you wide awake? Do you have a lot of thoughts flooding your mind, or maybe just a couple? Do you have any strong emotions? And all of those things can pull energy from us. So with your eyes closed, you can just visualize a greater source of energy within that you could tap into and fill yourself up for self-healing, self-care, self-love. And take a deep inhale. And just exhale out the mouth. And slowly open your eyes. Okay, so to begin, you can either stay seated, we'll do a little breathing, or you could lie on your back. You probably like to lie down.
Yeah.
Okay, so come onto your back.
Head here?
Sure, yeah, that's fine. And if you are going to be seated, you can place a blanket under your hips and just give yourself a little prop up. And then from this position, just go ahead and bend your knees, bring your feet flat to the floor. Let me scooch this way a little bit so I can be on the screen too. And separate your feet to the width of your yoga mat if you're using one, or wider than your hips. And then let your knees rest in towards each other so they make like a little tent. Does that feel okay?
Mm-hmm.
So if you need to adjust your feet back or forward, or your arms up or down, palms up or down, you could do that. And just close your eyes. And again, sense your body now in this position. So different orientation, maybe different feelings, different sensations. And we'll do a breathing practice that consists of 4 parts. It'll be 4 breaths, and we'll do it 3 times. And it's pretty simple. It's just in and out through the nose, in and out through the mouth, in through the nose, out the mouth, in through the mouth, out the nose. And I'll walk you through that. And if you like, you can count the length of your breath to keep an even ratio. So start just by emptying completely, full exhale. And let's go for 3 seconds. Inhaling 1, 2, 3 through the nose. Exhale through the nose, 3, 2, 1. Now make a little pucker with your mouth. Breathe in through your mouth. 1, 2, 3. Exhale, relax your mouth. Breathe out. 3, 2, 1. Close your mouth. Breathe in through your nose. And relax your mouth. Breathe out through the mouth. 3, 2, 1. Good. Breathe in through the mouth through a pucker. 1, 2, 3. And out the nose. 3, 2, 1. So that's 1 cycle. We'll do 2 more. Inhale through the nose. 1, 2, 3. Exhale through the nose. 3, 2, 1. Make a pucker. Inhale through your mouth. 1, 2, 3. And relax your mouth. Exhale. 3, 2, and 1. And your length could change to the ratio. In through the nose. 1, 2, 3. Exhale through the mouth. 3, 2, 1. Good. Breathing in through the mouth. 1, 2, 3. And out through the nose. 3, 2, 1. One more cycle. Notice how your body feels, your mind. Inhale, nose. 1, 2, 3. Exhale, nose. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, mouth. 1, 2, 3. Exhale, mouth. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, nose. Exhale, mouth. Last time. Inhale, mouth. And exhale, nose. And just notice the effects. It has a very calming effect on our nervous system. So hopefully you felt that. And let's begin with our first pose. So you can stay on your back and bring your right knee into your chest. Okay. Now this could be your pose here, either keeping your left knee bent or straightening it like Blake did. And if you have a strap handy and you'd like to use one, you could make this a longer stretch for your leg just by looping the strap or your scarf or whatever you have around the ball of your foot. Hold on to both ends of the strap with your hands and then start to straighten your leg to the ceiling. Good. Okay, now the purpose of the strap is so your arms don't have to effort to reach your leg. So take your hands wider apart, draw your elbows down, and relax your shoulders. Yeah, so it's like you have reins, holding on to long reins. Your knee could still be bent for this, but try to push your foot forward, either to like the corner of a room or the ceiling, depending on how long your leg is. This is called Supta Padangustasana. So Supta means to lie down, Pada is your foot, Angusta is your toe. And traditionally you would hold your big toe with your hand, but we're making this a restorative pose where you don't have to work as hard. And you could close your eyes here, or even use an eye pillow or an eye mask. And just drape that over your face. And take a few breaths in through the nose and out. Breathing slow and low, and that signals to the brain to your nervous system that you are safe and secure, and then it tells the rest of your body to relax. Take one more breath like that. And then we'll open the leg out to the side. So here you have options. You could keep the strap, or if you want to make this more luxurious or cushy, you take a pillow and you open your leg out to the side and rest it on a pillow. So he is using the strap and the pillow. It's also another option. You could even let this go. And the pillow you probably want under your lower leg. Does that feel more comfortable?
Yeah.
And this doesn't have to be your maximum stretch either. Especially if you have some injury to your leg, you want this to be pretty mild. You can turn your toes out more if you like, if it goes willingly. Good, so you have an external rotation of your leg deep within your hip socket. And then this left leg is just lying, draping on the floor. And if it pulls too much across your front left hip, you would just bend your knee and place your foot flat to the floor. And take a few breaths here. You can always close your eyes. Especially if you spend a lot of time looking at screens, which we certainly do a lot these days. Closing your eyes is one of the quickest ways to give them a rest. And take one more breath here. And then when you're ready, you're just gonna switch and bring the leg across your body now for a twist. So I'll grab the pillow and we'll place it on the other side now. So any kind of pillow that you have works fine. And this could be under your thigh, it could be under your shin and your leg, kind of at an angle if that's comfortable. Or you could even bend your knee and place your foot to your inner thigh, and then the pillow is kind of under more of the knee. Another option is you would grip the pillow between your legs and then lean your legs off to the side, so kind of straddling the pillow. Does that feel okay? Okay. And there should be like a long passive opening across the outer hip, even up into the right side of your torso under your armpit. And you could focus your breath there, like you could breathe space between your ribs. Breathing almost like you could emphasize just your right lung. Let's stay for 2 more breaths. You can relax your right shoulder anymore. Just imagine it becoming heavier, like it was made of concrete. And when you're ready, slowly start to untwist, bend your knee, and come back to center. Stretch your right leg out. And just observe, so both legs straight, and notice the difference between sides. So hopefully the right leg feels heavier, maybe even longer, might feel warmer. Those are all good signs that you've relieved some tension, especially the heaviness. So let's do the other side, because you definitely want to feel that on the opposite side of the body. So either hug the knee in, your left knee, or you could straighten the leg up towards the ceiling. Do you prefer that one?
Yeah.
So you could use your strap again, right at the ball of the foot beneath the toes. And again, if you don't have a strap, sweatshirt with long sleeves, anything, just to extend your reach. So elbows down, shoulders relaxed. Try to keep your arms out of it as much as possible. And then just a little bit of action with the foot. So draw the pinky toe back towards the outer hip and push your big toe forward. And that's going to give you a little truer stretch, more honest stretch. It's also great for your hip flexors, the psoas, which is kind of our fight or flight muscle. It's the first one to contract when we feel that we're in danger or under stress. So the front of your right thigh might feel like it's receiving a big opening for that muscle that crosses your hip. And that's a good thing. And take 2 more breaths here. Even notice the difference between sides. There's probably some imbalance in your body, even if it's not in this pose in the legs. We are not made completely symmetrical, so you might find one side is more open than the other, and that's normal. So let's now open to the left, coming into an inner thigh stretch. And you could use your strap or you could get a pillow and place that under your leg. Probably the lower leg. That would be more comfortable. Does that feel okay?
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have to be your biggest stretch. You want to maybe half your effort or 3/4 of your effort or even less. If you want to make it super passive, just give the full weight of your body down to the floor with gravity. With every exhale, imagine becoming a bit heavier. And take one more breath here on this side. And then slowly bend your knee, bend your leg, and we'll go up and over into a twist. So you could take the pillow with you, and you don't have to use the pillow. You could just kind of twist like this with your own body for support, or you could place the pillow underneath your lower leg and support your shin and your foot. Does that feel okay?
Mm-hmm.
You could also have the knee bent, rest your foot on your other leg, and the arms could just go out as wide as you want, whatever feels the most comfortable. Give a little more attention to your left shoulder and see if that can recline even another millimeter towards the floor. Take a few deep breaths now into the left side of your body, from the armpit down through the hip, opening up the ribs. One more breath here. And slowly begin to roll onto your back and stretch both legs out in front of you. And again, just observe the effects. Like you could marinate in the residue of the pose. Hopefully now your left leg feels just as heavy and long or warm as your right. And if not, then you just become aware of some extra tension on either side and get to know your body a little more intimately. Okay, next pose. So now bend your knees. We're gonna roll up to seated. And when you do this, come to one side.
One side.
Or you can do that. But getting off the floor, take your time. So if you're on your back, you can roll to one side, push down into your hands, keep your head heavy, and let it come up very last. That way, we're just not jerking ourselves around and making sure we keep the energy, that we're relaxed and calm. Okay, so this one, scooch forward just a little bit so we can see the back. We're gonna do a little kind of lying twist. So here's what we're gonna use: a block and a long pillow. If you don't have these, you could use like a body pillow, or this would be a good opportunity for like thick rolled blankets. If you don't have a block, you could place a book underneath, and you may not even need the block. We tested it out earlier, and this is what felt comfortable for Blake. So the block goes under the pillow about halfway, so the pillow creates an angle, and Blake is gonna sit on his right hip with his legs, knees bent, kind of in front of him, and bring your hip all the way up to the edge of the pillow. Good. Okay, now he's gonna take his hands, one hand on either side of the pillow, to turn your belly and chest towards it. Now walk your hands forward and slowly lie down on the pillow. Good, and you can turn your head either way. Does that feel comfortable?
Yeah.
Okay. So if this was too much, being low to the ground, you could put more pillows underneath the long one, so you're higher up. If you have yoga blocks, you would make like an L shape with your blocks to create more of an incline. Or you could also just do this flat on the floor, so you have options. And then your arms, Blake actually has it pretty good already. You could try to gauge that your elbows are under your shoulders, so that bone just rests with the direction of gravity. Or you could even wrap your arms around the pillow and kind of hug it, like you would if you actually sleep with a body pillow. Very similar. Yeah.
Oh.
And if you're having trouble sleeping, maybe this is another option. So we'll take a few breaths on this side, and then we just switch to the other side. And you should feel a nice passive opening across the upper back, especially right in between the shoulder blades. Your shoulders are parting away from your spine, so you get a good stretch in your upper back. You also have the option where you could take this top leg out straight. So if you like, give that a shot. And if that doesn't feel comfortable, just bend your knee back again if that's too much. And you could also try turning your head the other way. And it may not be intuitive, so just give it a shot, experiment. If it strains your neck, go back in the same direction. But it just depends on the flexibility of your cervical spine. Let's take one more breath here. And then without lifting your head, push your arms down into the floor and use the strength of your arms to bring your body off the pillow, and head comes up very last. That was better. Good. Yeah, so your head just hangs.
Yeah.
Good. And then unravel, come back to how you started. And you're just gonna pivot on your hips and turn towards the wall to do the other side. Okay, so if you missed it or got confused, we have a bolster, which could be a long pillow or thick blankets rolled up to make something similar to the shape with a block underneath. And if you don't have a block, a book, encyclopedia, whatever. And if you don't have that, maybe a pillow. And if you don't have that, just get creative. So now he's sitting with his left hip all the way up against the bottom of the pillow, so it touches. Both hands straddle the pillow, walk your fingers forward, like you're crawling your upper body away from your lower body. And then once your chest and your belly meet the pillow, you could lay all the way down and rest your head. And then check in with your arms, make sure they feel comfortable and passive. So the goal with restorative yoga is to let go of as much effort and action as possible. So the less you can do, the better. So scan if there's any areas that feel tense or rigid and see if you can soften them and let gravity weigh you down. And if you can't relax, it's a sign that you need to adjust the pose. So either coming up higher, so you have more of an incline, using more pillows, supporting a bent leg or an arm, or just deepening your breath. Slow and low breathing. These kinds of yoga poses are pretty advanced because you don't do much, so there's not distractions for your mind. So this is more of a meditative practice than a moving or a movement practice. So if you find it difficult, you could probably benefit by doing this more. It's also a good way to build patience the longer that you stay. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Okay, and then when you're ready to come out, remember, let your head hang heavy, so you don't lift your head first. Use your arms. So walk your hands back under your shoulders, push through your palms, use the strength of your arms to lift yourself up, and then unwind. You feel okay?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, this next one is my favorite, and I think it was yours too, and it requires the most props. So it's a little bit of a pain to set up, but it's worth it. And I'll give you options if you don't have all of these yoga props that we do. So if you are in possession of yoga blocks, you could use them for this next pose, putting them in an L shape. So tall and then lowest height, or if you have books that can kind of resemble this, you could do that. And then lay the pillow back on the books or the blocks like so. So you're just trying to get a steeper angle of your pillow. So blankets underneath, something cushy to create this kind of angle for your back. All right, then you're gonna sit all the way back up against the bolster, so your sacrum is touching. And bring your feet together into bound angle, or Baddha Konasana. And if you're not familiar with this shape, it's like butterfly. So if you ever did this in gym class back in the day, perfect. Okay, now if your knees are hovering high off the ground like Blake's are, that's no problem. You just want to support them. So you'll take your blankets or more pillows and tuck them under the gap of the legs. So knees, hips, whatever. All right, now hands go back behind you, either side of the pillow, and start to walk yourself down. And then once you lay down, you might find that your head is being thrown back a little bit too much. So then lift your head a little bit. You can place a blanket underneath your head just so your chin could tip forward slightly. Does that feel like enough?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Your hood might be in the way too. Okay. So if you don't have all of this available, you could skip the leg version if it's too much. You could skip the back version if you just want the hip stretch. You could sit up against a wall and just take that inner thigh stretch. Or get creative with your props. We have plenty of stuff at home that resembles this that could be useful. Now another thing I should mention is that if you find part of your body is hovering off the floor, like Blake's elbows are, place something underneath them. So when your body is trying to rest, the last thing it wants to do is hover in space. So give it something to ground on.
Mm-hmm.
You can close your eyes or use your eye pillow if you want. Block out the light. Do you want your eye pillow?
No, I'm good.
Okay. And if you find that your mind is frantic, draw your attention to bodily sensation or your breath. So you could scan your body, notice what areas feel like they're opening, becoming heavier, warmer, maybe more tingly as your circulation improves, especially in the hips and the chest in this pose. Or simply listen to the sound of your breath. You might find the longer that you stay, you need to make some minor adjustments. So if you're noticing you want to take a pillow out or remove a blanket, you may find that your hips have become more open or your arms seem to have become longer. That's pretty typical. But if you're experiencing pain or discomfort, don't tough it out. So either come up and rebuild your props and your support, or just exit the pose completely and rest in a way that's more comfortable. You still feel okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's stay for about 1 more minute, a few more cycles of breath. And then when you're ready to come out of this pose, there's a couple ways. First, I would close the knees. So bring your knees together, separate your feet a little wider. And you could either roll to one side, kind of roll into the side of the support beneath you, which I find to be the most comfortable, or roll off the support and push yourself up. Okay. You got a lot of stuff in the way. This has gone by fast. Is it really almost 8:40? Goodness. Okay. So let's do our last pose here. And we're going to practice legs up the wall, or Viparita Karani. And if you don't have a wall or something you could prop your legs up on, you could put pillows underneath your legs. But we'll do it with the wall since we have it. So come and sit with one side of your hip at the wall. All the way up, good. And then use your hands to help draw your back down towards the floor and send your legs all the way up. Yeah, nice. We have hardwood floors, so you can slide a lot. Okay, does that feel okay?
Yeah,
Is your pelvis on the ground?
I think so.
Okay. So if your hamstrings are tighter than Blake's are, you may need to push yourself further back so your knees can bend. It's like if you're getting a really strong stretch with your legs, it might be too much to stay for a few minutes. So you just see what's comfortable. Now if you don't have a wall, you could either use all kinds of pillows and blankets and whatnots, whatever you got. And let your legs, see if I can get it out of the way, kind of drape on top of something. And this looks pretty ugly, so make it look nicer. And maybe you have even thicker pillows where your shins, your calves are totally supported. But it could look like this. Or you could just lie completely on your back and maybe put a rolled blanket under your knees. Slide this under your head just so you don't have it whatever. There you go. Okay. So we'll finish up in this pose, which I think is the best restorative pose out there. Has huge rejuvenating effects on the legs, especially if your legs are fatigued or you have, let's say, some discomfort in your low back. This is a great way to help alleviate that. You also get a lot of blood flow to the pelvis and abdominal organs, so it's like a big reflush for that area, and a nice support for your spine if your back is tired as well. So if you could stay 5 to even 10 minutes, I highly recommend that. And we'll just stay for a couple more. But you can close your eyes or use your eye pillow, which I've lost somewhere, so you just close your eyes. And draw your attention inward. Again, visualize this vast, silent, enduring source of energy within you that you have access to anytime. Notice how you feel now so you can recall this later when you need it. Remember this feeling. We'll end our practice here, but I hope you have a good rest of your day or good sleep. If you're off to bed, this is a great way to start your night for a long, restful sleep. So I'll just close saying namaste, thank you, and I hope that we get to see you another time. Thanks, Blake.